All right, well, the Energy Minister, Gwede Mantashe, is giving Bosasa-related evidence at the State Capture Commission of Inquiry. Let's take you live there now.
Mr. Fulo Molefe. Chairperson, the genesis of today's hearing is the evidence of Mr. Agrizi and Mr. Richard Leroux in respect of the security installations that were done at the house of Minister Mantashe, and both here in Gauteng and in the Eastern Cape, farm in the Eastern Cape and the house there. And Chairperson, then Mr. Mantashe applied for leave to cross-examine Mr. Agrizi and to cross-examine Mr. Leroux. So the bundle that will be before you, the exhibit before you, will contain that application. And that application, you'll see it contains the affidavit of Mr. Mantashe, where he refers to the evidence of Mr. Agrizi, and it also contains the responses of both Mr. Agrizi and Mr. Leroux. And then it has also a replying affidavit of Mr. Mantashe. And that appears in Bosasa Bundle 3. And then it's exhibit T32 of that bundle. And before that, before the chair goes there, and can we have Mr. Mantashe's sworn in, and then we can take it from there.
Well, maybe that you have started doing that. Don't you want to just remind the public what the issues are that will be covered, and then the oath of affirmation can be administered, and thereafter we start?
Chair, firstly, the evidence of Mr. Agrizi was to the effect that the Bosasa and had targeted certain people which they regarded as influential, and they had done favors for those people. And one of those people was Minister Mantashe, and we must mention that at that stage, he was not yet a minister. And what they did some security installations in his house in Gauteng, and his house in the Eastern Cape, Kala, and also his farm. And then there's evidence of Mr. Richard Leroux, who actually did the work. And it is not in dispute that the work was done at all these three premises. The real dispute is the value of the work, the rent value of the work that was done, and also the issue is whether Minister Mantashe should have allowed that work to be done for him. And Mr. Mantashe has, in his application to cross-examine the two witnesses, he has given a statement explaining how he got the work to be done, and his explanation being that it was done by Papa Lishabane. These services were offered to him by Papa Lishabane, and his evidence is that on the affidavit, he knew Papa Lishabane is a friend and a family friend, and he even in one of the children's graduation, he was the master of a ceremony. Well, these days, a person of ceremony. He was a person of ceremony, and Mr. Lishabane offered to do this free of charge. So the issue now is whether he should have accepted that service and that gift from Mr. Lishabane.
Okay, no, that's fine. Then, Registrar, you can administer the oath or affirmation to Minister Mantashe.
Mr. Mantashe, will you be taking the oath or the affirmation?
I'll take the oath.
Please state your full names for the record.
My name is Samson Gwede Mantashe.
Do you have any objection to taking the prescribed oath?
I have no objection at all.
Do you consider the oath binding on your conscience?
Yes, oath is binding.
Do you solemnly swear that the evidence you will give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? If so, please raise your right hand and say, "So help me God."
So help me God.
Thank you very much. Yes, Mr. Noche.
Mr. Mantashe, do you confirm that you have in front of you a document which is marked Exhibit T32?
I got the document.
Chair, for the record, and may I reiterate again that this is part of Bosasa Bundle 3.
Hang on, let's just get the bundles clear first. Which bundle were you confirming he has got in front of him?
It's an exhibit. It's Bundle 3, but Exhibit T32.
Okay, the lever art file is Bosasa Bundle 3.
Yes.
And then you will refer to his affidavit, which is a particular exhibit
It's
in
the
that
Exhibit
file.
T32 in the file.
Yeah.
And on page Bosasa 03187. Mr. Mantashe, whilst I'm on that, when we talk about the pages, you will see on the left hand of the document, at the top left hand, there is the name Bosasa and then numbers in black. You see that?
I can say Bosasa 03190 is the first page.
Yes. When we refer then to documents, when we refer to pages, we're referring to that. You understand? Whenever I'm referring you to pages, I'll be referring to the page on the left-hand corner at the top.
So disregard the red numbers. Disregard if there are red numbers on any page. If there are red numbers on any page as well as black numbers, disregard the red numbers. Focus on the black numbers. But on some pages, you only have black numbers on the top left-hand corner.
Do you understand, Mr. Mantashe?
No, I see there's black and white, yes.
Yes. And also, when we refer to the pages, although it's written Bosasa -03 the number, we won't be saying Bosasa -03. We'll just go to the last 3 digits, if it's 3 digits or 1. So I'm at page 187. So if we refer to that page, we'll just say page 187. So we forget about Bosasa and 03.
You understand?
Yes, I see 187 on the covering page.
Yes, so when we refer to a page, we'll just say 187 without saying Bosasa 03.
Okay.
Okay, all right. Mr. Noche.
Mr. Mantashe, you deposed to about 3 affidavits wherein you are applying to cross-examine Mr. Agrizi and Mr. Richard Leroux. You remember?
I remember that.
And in those affidavits, you set out your version of events regarding the security features that were installed in your 3 properties. Remember?
I remember that.
For now, don't forget about the affidavit about the condonation. Let's deal with the issue of the security upgrades. You confirm that those security upgrades were done at your 3 premises, am I right?
Yes, I refer to them as cameras because security upgrade is a broader concept.
Now, but you confirm that they were installed at your premises.
The cameras were installed in all my 3 houses, yes.
Yes.
Just
now,
one second, Mr. Noche. I just want to make sure I know what's happening here. Mr. Mantashe's application for leave to cross-examine Mr. Agrizi, has that been disposed of or is that still pending? I've dealt with so many applications for leave to cross-examine, I forget. Is that still pending or has that been decided?
It's, my recollection, Chair, is as if it's still pending.
Oh.
May just bear with me.
Yeah.
I understand from my junior that you granted the leave to cross-examine.
Oh, okay, but this is the actual cross-examination that has not taken place?
It hasn't taken place.
Oh, okay. No, that's
No, in all these matters, the person who wants to cross-examine will file an affidavit, then testify, and then will arrange for cross-examination.
Yes, okay, no, that's fine. Yes, you may continue.
Now, Mr. Mantashe, I would like you to explain to the chairperson about the issue surrounding the installation of these cameras at your properties. How did it come about?
Maybe just to clarify that, Mr. Mantashe, we'll just give you a chance to put the story of how this happened in your own words, and then Mr. Noche, when you are done, can then put questions, but to say this is how this whole thing happened and complete that story.
Yes. I had 2 attempted break-ins in my property in Boksburg. And when I had a discussion with my security advisor, who was employed by the ANC to deal with my security, we agreed that we needed cameras so that whenever there would be investigations, we would have ability to assist the investigation. And then I gave the work to the security advisor to deal with it because he knows the field, I don't know the field. He bought cameras to install in my property. In that process, Papal Shaban arrived in Boksburg, had a discussion with him. He is available to give evidence because anything they discuss will be, I will talk in third person. And Papal Shaban is said to have offered to give better cameras because the cameras we bought from Gain were of inferior quality. That is how that project was started.
Well, you may proceed to deal with what you may have discovered later, or what do you say to what has been put up, or otherwise, if you prefer that Mr. Noche can start leading you from now on, he can lead you.
You can lead me from here.
Yes, okay. Mr. Noche?
Now, you talk about the property in Boksburg, but you know, and it's not in dispute, that you had properties in the Eastern Cape. Am I right?
Yes.
And installation was done in those properties as well.
Yes.
How did it come about that installation was done in those properties as well?
If you look at the time difference between the installations, you'll see that the installation in the Eastern Cape was informed by the success of the Boksburg installation. We installed cameras in Boksburg in July 2013, and the installation were effected in the Eastern Cape in 2016. Having seen the effectiveness of the cameras in Boksburg, where we also even found a person who was actually stealing from within our property, who is working in the property, and then we thought that we should put those cameras in those properties as well.
I see. So there was a 3-year difference between the installation of the property in Boksburg and the Eastern Cape, am I correct?
Yes, you're correct.
Yes. Now, you have told the chairperson about how it came about that the cameras were installed in Boksburg. How did it come about the installation of the property of the cameras in the Eastern Cape?
Let me repeat myself. We saw the effectiveness of the cameras in Boksburg.
I see.
And thought that we needed them in the Eastern Cape because we are absentee landlords.
I see.
And then we installed them.
I see. So in the ones in the Eastern Cape, you ran with that project. You decided the cameras in Boksburg are working well, and therefore you must install proper cameras in the Eastern Cape as well. Am I right? Whom did you engage to install those cameras?
In the political settings, there is a very strict division of labor. I was kept out of details of security arrangement, and the security advisor handled that aspect himself.
I see. Now, you are saying to the commission, Papa Lishabane was only involved in the Boksburg because he overheard you talking about the installations in Boksburg. Am I correct?
I didn't say that.
What did you say?
I said Papa Lishabane came to the Boksburg property when Mzonke was working on the project in Boksburg.
Yes.
And offered to Mzonke to give better cameras than what we bought from him.
Yes.
Now, if they continue to the Eastern Cape and other areas, then that was their arrangement as the security team.
Now, can you explain to the commission as to exactly how it happened then? Because in your statement, you give the impression that Papa Lishabane said he's going to take over the installation and pay for the installation of all three properties.
Now, I will give you a third-person evidence in that regard. That's why Mzonke Nyakaza submitted an affidavit in that regard, because it is Mzonke Nyakaza who was dealing with the security details without involving me.
Did you read the statement of Mzonke?
Yes, I did read it.
Does it tell the commission as to how this was done, was arranged? To judge your memory, can you look at page 247, which is the statement of Nyakaza?
Yes, I see it.
And
page 247 is the affidavit of Mzupela Nyakaza. Is that the same person as Mzonke?
That's the same as Mzonke.
Oh, okay, all right. Mr. Nacho.
now, the gist of that statement is on page 248. Paragraph 3.
Yeah.
And he says there, I start reading, I've read the statement of the applicant being you, and I confirm the contents thereof insofar as it relates to me.
Yes.
Now, your statement does not say that the person who initiated and who arranged for the payment of the security installation in the Eastern Cape was him. It doesn't say so. Perhaps I missed it. Can you perhaps take us to the part where you say he is the person who arranged that?
No. Let me remind what I'm saying.
Yes.
I'm saying security details were left in the hands of Mzopela Nyakaza, who was my security advisor.
Yes.
Yeah. So details include Eastern Cape or Boksburg.
Look, Mr. Mantashe, unless I misunderstood your statement doesn't say anywhere that Mr. Nyakaza also arranged for the payments of the installation, or does it?
No. We have not spoken about payments. You have not asked me about payments. You asked me and we talked about installation.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, who then arrange the payments of the installations?
I think in the statement, Mzopela Nyakaza says, Papa Lishabane offered to the cameras at his own cost.
I'm sorry, I don't want this to appear and look look funny for you, Mr. Nyakaza doesn't say that I took you to his statement. He doesn't
Go to my
say.
statement. Where is my, let's go to my statement.
Yes.
I said, Mzonke explained that Babal Shaban offered to give cameras at his own cost.
I see. Tell me, perhaps I missed that. Where is that in your statement?
Let's get the statement. What page?
He wanted you to remind him where to find the statement.
Or his statement?
His statement starts...
Your statement is at page 199.
Oh, I was looking at the one at page 235, 199.
Yes.
Yes.
Chair, just Mr. Mantashe, before you respond, Chair, you have the two statements. One deals with the evidence of Agrizi, the other deals with the evidence of Richard Leroux.
Yes, okay.
At 199, it deals with the evidence of Agrizi.
Okay.
And where is the other one?
The other one is at 235. At least one of the, you said there are three of his, huh?
There are three of his, and one is for the condonation. Then there are these two, which are the founding, inverted commas, the founding statements, and then there's a reply. But let's deal now with the first founding.
Yes, but I think he wants to see both. The other one is at 235, Mr. Mantashe.
Where is the founding statement?
Yes.
The founding statement, tell him, Mr. Noche, is that the one at 199?
Both at 199. The founding statement 199 deals with the evidence of Mr. Agrizi, and then the founding at 235 deals with the evidence of Mr. Richard Leroux.
Are those both a founding affidavits?
Yes.
199 for the one and 235 for the other.
I want my founding affidavit.
Have you found it?
Okay. Page 238.
238.
13, 14. And I think 15. I am informed by Mzonke that Papa requested to see the cameras that were being installed. And his opinion was that they were of inferior quality. Papa then offered to provide Mzonke with high quality CCTV footage and security system, further that he will bear the cost of the equipment and installation. Mzonke informed of the offer by Papa on the basis of good relationship I had with Papa, and I accepted the offer, and I asked him, Papa, about the cost. He confirmed that the cost will be borne by him.
Is that it?
Yes.
Now, can you just go back to 237 and read paragraph 12?
237.
Paragraph 12.
During the same period, Papa arrived at my house in Boksburg to find Mzonke busy with the installation cameras around the house.
Yes.
And 13, 14, 15. Continue from that.
Yes. Now, and then you confirm in your later paragraphs that you then spoke to Papa, and then he said he would then bear the cost of the house in Boksburg. Am I right?
Yes.
That's what's in your statement. Am I right?
I don't think there's reference to Boksburg. There's reference to cameras. And the discussion takes place in Boksburg.
Yes. The If Mr. Mantashe, you look at paragraph 12, Papa arrives at your house whilst Mzonke is busy with installation.
Yes.
And then Mzonke informs you that Papa says he can find a better equipment. Am I right?
Yes.
And then you speak to Papa, and then he says you'll do it at his cost. Am I right?
Yes.
This is the same day, same period. Or is it another period?
What is the material difference in that?
Don't worry, can you just answer the question? Is it the same
I must
period?
worry because I must give you appropriate answers.
Right. When you spoke to Mzonke and you spoke to Papa about cost, is it on the day that Papa came to your house and found Mzonke installing security cameras?
It was in 2013, I would imagine so. I can't remember properly.
I see.
But I think it is.
I see. Now, can you tell the commission where to a place now where you deal with how the cameras and the cost, who pay the cost of the cameras for your houses and your farm in the Eastern Cape?
I've never dealt with that.
I beg your pardon?
I never did.
Is it somewhere anywhere here?
I never dealt with that.
Can you deal with that now? And tell the commission where and when and who paid for the installation of the security cameras premises in the Eastern Cape and your farm.
Let me go back. Security details were handled by Mzonke Nyakaza. That is the person who handles security details. Whether it is in Boksburg or in Ghana.
Did you find out from him as to who was paying for the security installations?
I found out after there was a big issue of Bosasa, but who paid for this sort of work? And he said, no, that arrangement in Boksburg continued throughout.
So when they were installed, you didn't know who was responsible for the payments of the security in the Eastern Cape?
The arrangement between Mzonke and Papa continued.
But when they were installed, you didn't know about that, did you?
No.
Whom did you think was paying for these security installations?
Papa and Mzonke had an arrangement that Papa would offer security that were of higher quality, and he will do that at his own cost.
Yes.
And that arrangement continued.
If I understand, this was the arrangement he made was in 2013.
Yes.
And then you said in your evidence, you then found that this is working well, and 3 years later, you decided that the same arrangement should be made in your properties in Eastern Cape. Am I correct, yes, or did I misunderstand you?
We use the term we because it was an outcome of a discussion with my security team.
Yes. This is now after 3 years, after Boksburg meeting, you found that...
It's continuous. Actually, in Boksburg, those cameras help us eliminate dangers on 2 occasions. So as we discussed that, in the discussion, listen, this thing works well, it can work in Ghana, it can work in the farm, both where there are no security fences.
No, I accept
okay, maybe, I'm sorry, Mr. Noche. Just so that I understand, Mr. Mantashe. First, your security advisor had bought security cameras for the Boksburg property. Is that correct?
Yes. Yes.
With a view to having them installed.
Yes.
And Mr. Papa Le
Shaba.
Shabane, yeah, had a discussion with him, in which discussion he said, after seeing these cameras that your security advisor had bought, he said these are poor quality cameras, and he offered to buy at his own cost good quality cameras. Is that correct?
Yes.
In that discussion, you were not there. It was the two of them.
Yes.
But subsequently, you were told about this discussion by your security advisor.
Yes.
And but there was a time when you had a discussion with Babale Shabane about this offer as well. Is that right?
I asked him.
You asked him.
I asked him.
And you sought to confirm who was going to be responsible for the costs. Is that right?
Yes.
And he confirmed to you that he would be responsible for the costs.
Yes.
And is your recollection that those discussions were in 2013?
In my recollection, I think the installation in Boksburg was around July 2013.
Yes. And the discussion would have been some time earlier than that, but in 2013, as you recall?
It should be around that time, yes.
Yes. Now, the discussion, as you understood it at that time, both when your security advisor told you what he and Mr. Babale Shabane had discussed, and when you had a discussion with Mr. Babale Shabane, was it about cameras in the Boksburg property, or was it about cameras beyond the Boksburg property?
It was cameras in Boksburg.
In Boksburg.
At the time.
Okay, all right. And did you say that after the cameras had been installed on the Boksburg property, a period of about 3 years lapsed before they were installed in the other properties in the Eastern Cape?
Yes.
Is that so?
That is correct.
Okay, all right. Mr. Noche, take it from there. Switch on your mic.
When did then Mr. Lishabane undertake to pay now for the installations of the properties in the Eastern Cape?
That question can be answered by Mr. Nyakaza, because at that point in time, it was a security operation.
And are you telling the commission then that Mr. Nyakaza might have approached Mr. Lishabane without your knowledge to pay for the installations at your premises?
I don't think he would approach him with payment. He would approach him with the extension of the security arrangement to other properties.
And I'm sure he didn't expect that these are not going to be paid for. Someone had to pay for this security.
I don't know the discussion they had. If they agreed on the payment to have the same arrangement, it is their agreement.
Now, you read the evidence of both Mr. Agrizi and Mr. Richard Leroux, am I right?
Yes, I did.
And then before you deposed to the affidavit, you must have made inquiries from Mzonke as to what happened and who paid for the security arrangements in your Eastern Cape properties. You must have.
No. Mzonke was responsible for security.
Yes.
And they made arrangement for security throughout. And when I read Leroux and Agrizi's affidavits,
yes,
there are many things I pick up there.
yes.
One, contradictions on the price. That's the first thing. Then I read the Shabane's affidavit, who is disputing those two prices. And I would imagine that if Nishabane was offering these cameras, he would be the person who would actually know the prices. And he disputes both the prices.
All right, let's move back a little bit. My initial question to you was this. After you read the affidavits of both Mr. Agrizi and Mr. Leroux, and now you're preparing to answer these in your founding affidavit. Did you find out from Mzonke as to who paid for your properties in the Eastern Cape? Did you?
My understanding from Mzonke is that the arrangement in Boksburg extended to the Eastern Cape.
Did you ask him who authorized him to ask Mr. Lishabane for the extension of the arrangements in Boksburg?
No, I didn't ask him that, precisely because our arrangement, our working and relationship with Mzonke is that of a principal and a security team. And the security team deals with the nitty-gritties of the security arrangements.
I understand.
And they would come to me on the need-to-know basis.
I understand. But they are not your financiers. They're just security people, but they don't finance your security. Am I correct?
No, they don't finance my security. Security is financed by the ANC.
So did you ask him whether he asked the ANC then to extend? Why did you not ask him to find out who authorized him to extend the arrangement in Boksburg?
May I ask this question prior to that, Mr. Noshwa?
Yes.
Mr. Mantashe, at some stage, you must have asked Mr. Mzonke to tell you how it came about that the Eastern Cape properties were also provided with the security cameras and who paid, even before you could ask whether he was authorized or not authorized. Did you ask him to just tell you the story? How did it come about?
You see, there's a difference between a legal process and a traditional arrangement. In a traditional arrangement, Mr. Chairman, we help one another in dealing with a number of projects. If Mantashe is going to get married, we come together and have umkalelwan and people will contribute. The questions that are legal that you are asking now do not arise because we're a group, we're in a family arrangement, we're in a traditional arrangement. People make contributions, and those contributions are not looking suspicious until years later there's a commission.
No, when I say there must have been a time when you asked him to just tell you exactly how it came about, that could well be after Agrizi and Mr. Agrizi and Mr. Richard Leroux started giving evidence. But I'm saying I would expect that at some stage prior to today, or maybe prior to you doing your affidavits, you would have said, well, I knew before the security cameras were installed by Mr. Lishabane at the Boksburg property. I had to even confirm with him that the cost would be borne by him. So he confirmed to me. But now after that, I found that the properties in the Eastern Cape have also been, cameras have been installed there. But I have not been involved in any such discussion. Now there is this whole issue coming out in the commission, and I want to know exactly how it came about. So I'm saying my expectation is that at some stage, at least maybe after Mr. Agrizi and Mr. Richard Leroux had given evidence, you would have been interested to find out how did it come about. Did Mr. Shabane just offer on his own, or was he approached by Mzonke to say, let's extend this arrangement that has applied in Boksburg to the Eastern Cape? That's my expectation. Did that not happen?
No. Well, what I was told was that Mzonke and Shabane agreed to extend the arrangement in Boksburg to the Eastern Cape properties. What I didn't ask is whether it is Mzonke who opposed Shabane or Shabane. I made an assumption that in their usual conversation and discussion, they agreed to attend the arrangement to the Eastern Cape.
Okay, Mr. Notcher.
And you are saying to the commission, you didn't find out how did Mr. Leshabane undertake to pay for the installations in the Eastern Cape?
No, I didn't ask the details of that.
Now, at some stage now, when you were answering the questions, you're saying that the ANC would pay for those installations. Am I correct?
No. I said, don't distort what I said.
I apologize if I did.
But don't do that, because if you do that, I will suspect malice. I said the ANC was responsible for my security.
Yes.
I didn't say the ANC would pay for the installation. I didn't say that.
And was it also responsible for paying for your security?
What does that mean? Let me explain to you. Maybe experience of working for an NGO is limited in the commission. No. You see, when you work for an NGO, which the ANC is, to a great extent, is that you live in a way where you are almost living for survival, but you get satisfaction in the work you do. So the ANC doesn't have a pile of money to pay for that and that and that. Security people, many in the ANC, by the way, do discuss and make arrangements for security. They drive your car, they guard you, they go with you. So when you say ANC should have budgeted for security, they know that it is important for me to have security, but they may not be in a position to pay. That's why we were doing that project ourselves. And Babale Shabane didn't join the ANC in that project. They joined our own team in that project.
So you knew you were responsible for the payment of security installments in your houses. Am I correct?
Yes. But I also knew that there was an offer by Babale Shabane to foot the cost of cameras.
And that was in Boksburg only? You knew about Boksburg only?
No. Now, you are fragmenting a family setup. I said earlier, Babale Shabane was a family friend.
Yes.
He was always mingling with a group of young people in the family. And in that process, I had no Mzonke, and they had discussion, and they made their own arrangement in that setup of a family.
See.
Okay. So you want us to make a family discussion a formal meeting. It doesn't always work that way. They come there and say, no, listen, leave those cameras, they are very poor. I will give you cameras. And I would imagine Mzonke would not know where Papa would get the cameras and accept the offer. because it's quite a good offer in a project we're already undertaking.
I see. At that time, 2013, what were you in the ANC?
I was Secretary General.
In 2016?
I was Secretary General. I was Secretary General for 10 years.
I see. And Mzonke and Papa Lishaban, where was he working at that time?
He was working at Bosasa.
And you knew he was working at Bosasa?
Yes. And I had no problem with Bosasa at the time.
How much was he earning?
Because Bosasa is a growth of Jammu, which was initiated by ANC women. So we had no tensions with Bosasa at the time.
I see. And how much was he earning?
I don't know. I don't ask people's salaries.
I see. Did he say to you this money is going to come from his pocket or from Bosasa?
He said he will carry the cost.
And you didn't bother to ask him where he would get the money to carry the cost?
Why would I do that? I don't ask people's earnings. It's not my business. I don't tell people my earnings.
I see. Now, when the installations were done at your Eastern Cape properties, were you satisfied with those installations?
Yes, I'm satisfied.
Did you ever inquire? Sorry, I spoke over you. I apologize.
Yes.
Did you want to say? I apologize.
Well,
I apologize.
Mr. Mantashe, you'll have to give an English translation of that. Yeah.
No, he said I'm sitting on his beard. No, it's unintentional.
Yes, you were saying something and he interrupted you. He wants you to finish.
Yes, I'm saying the installation in the Eastern Cape satisfied me, and I'm still satisfied. They do what was intended to. That's why in the farm we were able to catch a buggy that went to go and steal my sheep. I caught it, so I made it.
Now, when you saw this installation and you were satisfied with it, did you ever ask how much it cost?
No, I did not.
I beg your pardon?
I did not.
Why?
Because the security team was working on that and they were satisfied with it.
And they were satisfied with the efficacy of the cameras, but did you find out how much it cost them to install those?
No, I did not. I didn't ask that.
And up to date, you don't know how much it cost to install those?
No, I'm reading now that address says 635. I read that Leroux says it is 300. I read that Opal Shawa says much less than that.
I see. When?
I'm sorry. Do you recall? Okay, let me start with this question. Is the position that you never knew before the cameras were installed in the Eastern Cape? You never knew in advance that they were going to be installed? Or did you?
Mzonke told me that they were extending the project to the Eastern Cape. I knew.
So he told you that before the actual installations in the Eastern Cape?
Yeah. Almost simultaneously, they were extending the project, and he said that project was extended to the Eastern Cape. And I understood.
Okay, all right. And how long after the installation had taken place did you have the opportunity of seeing the cameras in those properties?
I can't remember because I go home periodically.
Yes.
Every month.
Yeah.
I can't remember now.
But probably it might not have been a long time after
no,
they had been
I
installed.
go home regularly.
Yes, okay. Mr. Nocha?
And you've already confirmed that with the Eastern Cape, you didn't ask how much it costs. Did you inquire about the cost of the installations in Boksburg?
No, I did not.
I see. And at that time, you knew that Papali Shabane was working for Bosasa, am I correct?
Yes. Even if you work for the Department of Justice, or you would have been working for the ANC or somebody, that is immaterial. Papali Shabane offered to give us cameras of superior quality in a project we are undertaking.
You see.
So, working for Bosasa or whatever would not make material, not unless I used hindsight, which is an exact science, to say, yeah, Bosasa now. Then once the Bosasa issue comes up, then it becomes an issue. At that time, it was not an issue. So working for Bosasa, others working for that were not an issue. Among the young type who used to come to my place regularly, some were working for TV stations, not coming as reporters, coming as a group of young people intermingling, and the place is mine.
Can you confine ourselves for now to the Shabane?
I'm confining myself to that he was working for Bosasa was immaterial at the time.
You knew he was working for Bosasa, am I correct?
Yes, he was working for Bosasa, yeah.
Did you know what position he was occupying in Bosasa?
No.
At that time, you knew that Bosasa had been awarded contracts by government.
I was not in government. The only thing I know about Bosasa in government was the West Rand Youth Center. That's all I knew. The other quarters I was not in government.
But you knew that they had a contract with government, am I right?
I knew that Bosasa was responsible for the juvenile center in the Westland. Other contracts were not really my business. I didn't know many of them.
I see. And at that time, you were the chairperson of the ANC, am I correct?
The Secretary General.
Sorry, Secretary General of the ANC, am I correct?
Yes. Yes.
And I mean, it's well known that the Secretary General and the Executive Committee of the ANC is very influential on government appointments and government ministers and appointment of ministers. Am I correct?
It's well known to who?
It's not a secret, is it?
No. We have a relationship with them. When you say it is well known.
Oh, I apologize for using the term.
Well known by who?
Well, I thought it's public knowledge that
no. If it's public knowledge, yes. I was Secretary General. I was not in government.
Yes. But you were in the National Executive Committee of the ANC?
Not just the National Executive Committee. I was the Secretary General.
Yes. And
of the ANC.
Yes. And in the National Executive Committee?
So you don't know that Secretary General is part of the NEC. Actually, when we elect an NEC, we first elect 6 people.
Yes.
Then elect the additional members. Yes. One of the 6 people is the Secretary General.
Yes. Now, these questions, all you need to do is just to confirm it. If it's not, and then explain. Now you've explained, Secretary General was a member of the National Executive Committee. And the National Executive Committee...
Secretary General is always a member of the NEC, of the ANC. He was not. He is always, even today, the Secretary General is a member of the NEC.
I understand. And the NEC is influential in the appointment of ministers and high-ranking government officials. Am I correct?
Actually, we're going to come to the commission on that issue. We're going to come to the commission on that issue. The commission has asked the ANC to come here and explain the issue of deployment and the way we relate, how do we relate with the caucus of the ANC and so forth. And I think it would be incorrect of me to be asked to give that evidence here today.
The only reason I'm asking you that is that you were an influential person at that time, 2013 and 2016. Am I correct?
I don't know influencing who.
In the sense that you were in the National Executive Committee of the ANC, which had a power to influence the decisions of the appointment of influential people in government.
No. You see, you want me to give evidence that I'm going to bring here. Let me give you a taste of it.
Please.
There is a deployment committee in the ANC, of which the SG is not a member. Okay.
Yes. Okay.
The secretary is not a member of the deployment committee. Okay.
Okay.
But deployment of ministers is a prerogative of the president.
Yes.
Yeah. But in the ANC policies is that the president must please consult first the officials and then the NEC.
Yes.
Okay, so it's not the NEC appointing cabinet. No, the president appoints cabinet. He consults and says, I'm appointing X, Y, and Z.
Yes.
We can express views, but at the time, we don't even express the views.
Yes. Now, you were sitting at that time as a person who can express views on the appointment of ministers, am I correct?
No.
You've just said so.
No. You see, I don't know what I'm going to ask when I come here next week on behalf of the ANC. Because you are venturing on an area that has nothing to do with what we're here for. Because the cabinet ministers are appointed a prerogative of the ANC by the Constitution of the Republic. And the president, as a matter of practice, does inform and consult the structures of the ANC.
Yes.
Do you get my point? But we don't say, no, not that one, this one, no. He has the prerogative to appoint, unless there's something terribly wrong with the candidate. They will say, but President, we're going to attract yourself trouble in this one. So
Yes.
we're not appointing.
All right, we're live from the Zondo Commission. Currently, the Minerals Minister, Gwede Mantashe, giving testimony. Now, he has admitted that he accepted some security upgrades, some cameras paid for by a former Bosasa executive. Of course, that's a company that's been embroiled in bribery. But he says there was nothing untoward at the time. This was a man. He didn't know if Bosasa was paying or if he was paying personally. But he said that he needed better quality cameras and he would pay for them. And Gwede Mantashe accepted, but he said at the time there weren't the issues with Bosasa that there are now. Now, does this fly? We'll get some analysis for you a little bit later on. Of course, he's also explaining now, attempting to explain why he was there when people were fired by former President Jacob Zuma. Barbara Hogan, the former Public Enterprises Minister, for example, testified that Gwede Mantashe was there when she was told to go by the president. Earlier we heard from Lynn Brown, who was a Public Enterprises Minister, when arguably Eskom was damaged by the officials that she put in place. A lot of state capture claims. She's denied that she facilitated any inroads into SOEs for the Guptas. We'll bring you more analysis on that a little bit later on. Okay.